Look Outreach is underwritten by the generous support of Munter Enterprises. Family owned and operated since 1972, integrity is important, as our family name is on every project. Our word is our bond. Munter Enterprises. Just build it.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, if you're my generation, you've seen a lot of change. Change for the positive. I can remember when, if you were gay, there wasn't a chance that you would ever be married. I had a lot of gay friends at the time were very, very struggling with that. And now it's legal. Gay marriage is legal. But we still have some hurdles to go through. And there's going to be a panel discussion tomorrow right here in Saratoga on transgender issues. And joining me today is Cindy Swadba. She's a volunteer for Saratoga Pride. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you, Jess.
And Trace Ellis, who's a trans advocate for Trans Unite. Welcome.
Thank you.
Very nice to have you both here. This is a topic that's in the news. A lot of confusion about what actually encompasses transgender identity, right? What is it? What's going on here? You know, I know that these sound like very basic questions, but they're questions that I have, they're questions that my friends have. A lot of people don't really understand.
Right.
So, you know what, Cindy, I'm going to start with you, because you're putting this panel together tomorrow.
Right.
Why?
Well, the panel is called Trans Talk. And the reason that we're putting it together is to begin to have a conversation about members of our community who we don't know, we don't understand, we don't know enough about. And it came together as part of a community group that is concerned about the well-being of all of Saratoga.
Yes, I've got it. Now, Trace, you have a very personal story to tell. You know, in the media world, we call it in the trenches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were explaining to me, it was very early on. You were like 11 years old or something like that.
Oh, much earlier than that. Of course, I didn't have the language, but children usually get a sense of who they are around 4, 5 years old, separate from the rest of the world. And I knew then that I was male.
Right.
And I demanded to be treated as such, but I couldn't understand why the world didn't respond to me in the right way.
Right. Well, you realize how reluctant people are to accept change to start with.
Yeah.
And now when it's an issue like this where there's a lot of confusion about it, you can understand that in a way. You were fortunate in that both your parents were artists.
Yes.
Right? And
yes.
they were just honestly embraced.
Well, they did. They wanted me to be an individual and to be self-reliant, but there was a lot of society pressure, and they describe it as not knowing what was wrong with me.
Right.
So they started taking me to doctors when I was about 4 years old, and I hated that. I hated it because I didn't think there was anything wrong with me.
Right.
But by the time I was 11 years old, I had internalized a lot of shame. And I thought there was something wrong with me, so I sort of retreated into secrecy.
You know what? I really do want to cycle back on a couple of things. Think about the power of the words that Trace is using. You know, what's wrong with me? You know, as an individual, there isn't anything more detrimental to our self-worth than thinking that something is wrong with you. Right? Now, you have to, you know, we're not living in today. This is generation, this is decades ago, right, Trace?
Yeah.
You know, no real answers anywhere to look for or whatever. I think your experience is not untypical for the experiences that I've heard, that you turn to drugs, you turn to alcohol, you turn for some way to numb what's going on here,
Yes,
right?
yes. I took a drink at 11, and I didn't stop until I was 53.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, you know, but I do want to say that everybody has a valid story, and we are a very diverse community, and you know, there's nothing special about my story. It's just the idea of getting out there and sharing our experiences and breaking down barriers.
Well, that shows a lot of humility, by the way. So you're right. We happen to be living in an era now where a discussion like this and a panel like this can actually help a lot of members of our community, right?
Sure, absolutely.
You know, you get in there and you start to understand a little bit about the terms, you know, LGBTQ, what does that mean, you know? How is that, you know, what are the elements involved in this, right?
Right. We actually do have a handout that we'll be giving that really is a glossary of all these kinds of terms to help people understand. As our panelists are talking about them, we'll have a little definition so those words will come ring clearer to people.
And we're going to have a question and answer period, so hopefully people will be free to ask what is on their mind.
Right. You know, just a personal question. You must feel pretty rewarded now, right? In the sense that you overcame the kind of adversity that would do most people in, Trace. You came on the other side of it, and now, really,
well, I don't take
an
credit
advocate.
for that. I'm a spiritual.
You should.
I'm a spiritual person, and you know, I had some intervention there.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, however you got there, really to be commended for sure.
Thank you.
And all right. So this Trans Talk is tomorrow, May 23rd at 6:30 p.m. at the Saratoga Library. It's a panel of 5 speakers. There's a moderator there, but the panel includes Trace. It includes a transgender male. I'm sorry, you are transgender male. I'm sorry, transgender female, Julie Owens. There is the mother of a trans child there, and there's a couple of doctors there as well, medical professionals. So, you know, you get to learn a lot. And, you know, the terms don't really flow easily yet, but it is really something to see that the community is reaching out to say, hey, we're all individuals. And, you know, you said something before we were talking that I want to end this interview with, that it is very important that we honor someone's identity. And when you said that, it really resonated with me, Trace. I got news for you, because that's really the crux of the whole thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're all individuals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, thank you very much for coming in. Great to
you.
meet
Pleasure.
you. Great to see you again, Cindy.
Thanks,
we met
a pleasure.
before, by the
We
way.
have, yes.
And just one last reminder. It's called Trans Talk. May 23rd, which is tomorrow, 6:30 at the Saratoga Library. Go there, learn something, and be part of the community. Nice to see you both.
Thank you.
Great, thanks.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.